The day my sister Sophie announced her pregnancy, my fiancé Liam and I had just gotten engaged. We were all gathered at our parents' house for dinner, and I could barely contain my excitement. I had been waiting for the perfect moment to tell my family that Liam had proposed, that I was finally starting the next chapter of my life. But before I could even open my mouth, Sophie clinked her glass and shouted, "I'm pregnant." The room exploded with cheers. Mom burst into tears. Dad raised his glass in a toast, and Liam just squeezed my hand under the table. No one even asked why I was smiling so big. My engagement ring sparkled under the light, unnoticed. That night, I realized how invisible I truly was in my own family. Sophie had always been the golden child. Prettier, louder, more confident. She never had to ask for attention. It just followed her. Growing up, I learned to celebrate her achievements quietly, while mine were treated as background noise. Still, I thought things might change when I got engaged. I thought maybe, for once, I would be the one everyone was proud of. I was wrong. Over the next few months, everything revolved around Sophie's pregnancy. Mom called me daily, not to ask about wedding plans, but to update me on Sophie's morning sickness, cravings, or new baby clothes. Whenever I mentioned my dress fitting or venue, she'd say, "Emma, please don't stress Sophie right now. She needs peace." Even when I sent out my wedding invitations, Mom scolded me for being inconsiderate because Sophie might be too tired to attend. It hurt. Liam saw it in my eyes every time I came home from a family visit. He'd hold me close and whisper, "It's okay, Emma. One day they'll see you." But I wasn't sure they ever would. Then one evening, Dad had a heart attack. Everything stopped. I rushed to the hospital the second I heard, and I stayed there for 3 days straight. Sophie came once, stayed 10 minutes, and left because she was feeling faint. I didn't even care anymore. I sat beside Dad's bed every night, watching his chest rise and fall, holding Mom's hand when she cried. Liam brought me food and coffee, never leaving my side. In those days, I realized who truly cared and who just showed up for applause. Dad recovered, thank God, but things between Sophie and me were colder than ever. I barely heard from her unless Mom forced her to send a text. 2 months later, our grandfather Edward passed away. Losing him shattered me. Grandpa Edward had been my anchor, the only one who ever told me I was strong, capable, and worthy. He used to call me Little Light. When I was a child, he'd sneak me chocolate and whisper, "You'll do great things. Emma, don't let them dim you." At the will reading, everyone expected him to have left everything to Sophie. She sat there with a smug little smile, holding her husband's hand, while Mom whispered something about how Sophie deserved the family home, since she's starting a family. But then the lawyer cleared his throat and said, "Mr. Edward Hale leaves his house, savings, and personal belongings to his granddaughter, Emma Cole." For a moment, the room was dead silent. I could hear the clock ticking. Then Mom gasped. Sophie stood up so quickly her chair fell back and she yelled, "This isn't right. Grandpa loved me. He wouldn't do this." The lawyer simply said, "These were Mr. Hale's explicit wishes." Sophie's face turned red with rage. Mom looked at me like I'd stolen something. I wanted to cry, not out of guilt, but because Grandpa had finally given me something no one else ever did. Validation. He saw me. He knew how it felt to be overlooked. After that, things got ugly. Sophie stopped talking to me altogether, and Mom began calling daily to discuss how I could share the inheritance. "You know, Emma, it's only fair. Sophie has a baby on the way," but I refused. I told her Grandpa made his choice, and I wasn't changing it. That conversation ended with Mom hanging up on me. I didn't go to Sophie's baby shower, and she didn't come to my wedding. Liam and I decided on a small ceremony at a vineyard. Just us, Clara, a few friends, and peace. I wore a simple lace dress Grandpa once told me reminded him of Grandma's. As I walked down the aisle, sunlight spilling through the trees, I felt light for the first time in years. No drama, no competition, just love. Sophie later posted online about being betrayed by family, but I didn't respond. That night, under the soft glow of fairy lights, Liam kissed my forehead and said, "You finally look happy." I smiled, realizing Grandpa's gift wasn't just the house or money. It was freedom. The freedom to finally live without begging to be seen.